If your seller will not listen to your advice, the problem may have started long before the pricing conversation. Hi, I'm Robin Phillips, a Mount Pleasant realtor, listing strategist, and real estate consultant. Over the years, I've learned that sellers do not follow advice just because we know what we are talking about. They follow advice when they trust us. In this video, I'm breaking down why asking better questions matters, how active listening builds trust, and why that trust becomes critical when you need to guide a seller through staging, price reductions, and negotiations. Because when the decision gets hard, trust is what keeps the seller following your lead.
So we're going to talk about 3 things today because that's all we have time to talk about in a very short period of time. First of all, the secret to getting your clients to listen to you. I think this is the first and most important part of listing any property. And second, we're going to talk about the USPs, which is the unique selling proposition, how to identify that. And then thirdly, we're going to talk about how to find the ideal buyer. So what is the secret to getting your client to listen to you? No, it's right here. This is it. My entire listing presentation now, that I've been doing this for so long, looks like this. This is what I show up with, and this is all I show up with, and my computer to talk about pricing. The most important thing that you will do is listen to what your client has to say to you. So I have a little sheet here. This is your first little page at the top. We're just gonna fill this in together. And this is your little takeaway, right? We'll go a lot deeper in this in a class I have, but so the secret to getting your clients to listen to you finally is great questions and active listening builds trust. Why do you need your client to trust you? And in the first box, it says, so they will, and we're gonna write in, take your advice. So the better questions you ask, the more questions you ask, the more they trust you because you care. There's a theory that says whoever speaks most in the conversation thinks it wins the best. So if your client can talk the majority of the time in your listing consultation, they will love you. They will believe that you know them. They will believe that you trust them. Going into a listing consultation and going through a flip chart and hoping your client does not fall asleep is not a winning formula for building trust. What part of the selling process demands your client trusts you? Number 1, staging and how much money they're gonna spend on staging. That Madison house, we repainted the exterior, took off the black shutters, repainted all of the kitchen cabinets. These guys spent a minimum of 30 grand staging their house before I sold it. That client had to trust that I could sell their house. Why would they fork out 30 grand on the 5th agent to sell their house? Number 2, price reductions. How many times are you trying desperately to get your client to realize that their overpriced home is never going to sell no matter how beautiful it looks, right? And number 3, offer and negotiation process. So when you get that offer and it's the first offer and it's 30 grand lower than the list price and you're like, well, shoot, we were 30 grand over to begin with, so this is the best price ever. And you need to take this offer, or you need to not fight with the buyer over these tiny little negotiation items. You're gonna blow the deal. If they don't trust you, you cannot get them the most money. You can't get that price reduction. And let me tell you, how depressing is it when you list a property, spend $1 bazillion on photos, show the property yourself 100 times for a year, and then they fire you and you get nothing. So building that trust on the front end. So at the bottom here, do you ever skip this process, this interview process, ever? No, never. What if the client is your best friend? Even more important, because they know you as a friend, they don't know you as a professional, right? And we are professionals. And even if they're your past client, they've seen how professional you are, but guess what? They've met like 15 other real estate agents between the time you worked with them and now. Their 2 next door neighbors are real estate agents. So is the person they go to church with, and they're giving you a shot. How many of you walked into a listing consultation with a past client thinking this was a slam dunk? And they're like, great, we'll get back to you because we're interviewing 2 other agents. And you're like, right? You don't skip it, ever. So quick example, how do you serve by asking great questions? Talked to this client for probably an hour and a half, digging in, and she finally admitted to me that they were 17 days away from foreclosure. This house was going on the courthouse steps. So I said to her, I said, okay, there's 3 pricing strategies, which we'll go over at another time. And I said, we're gonna do the pricing strategy where we're pricing under market value, right? So we got an offer, cash offer in 2 days. We closed in 13 days and she got the money for her house. not the bank. Asking great questions helps you serve. This is Cottonfield. This client lives in New York. I still get a Christmas card from him every year. We did a $100,000 renovation, never met the guy. I managed the entire renovation. We did the whole thing. We sold the house for over $1 million. This was in 2015, I think. So this was a big deal, $1 million home back then. And he trusted me to handle it and sell the home. So we're gonna get back to skills. Get your clients to listen to you, ask great questions, dig, 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 dig. And I have a list of questions, but my favorite questions are, where are you going next? When are you going there? And tell me more about that. For those of you guys who have been trained by real estate coaches, that's my favorite question. Tell me more about that. Unpeel the layers. Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. So how do we get top dollar? This was the previous agent's first photo on the MLS. You would never know that there was like a garden oasis in the backyard. The last thing we want to do is who's going to pay the most money to find out about it at the showing. We have about 8 seconds to capture a buyer's interest online.